It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're online now.
Okay, I haven't handed out the agendas.
So is Stuart?
This isn't much of an agenda, I'm afraid.
Stuart, is he part of the committee?
So I'll call the meeting to order and
This is the county commission. Yep.
we'll welcome all the guests. We have minutes from,
Chairman, may I interrupt? May I have
absolutely.
names, please?
Oh, yeah. We should-
Yes, we should do introductions.
Yeah,
So
please.
just go around the table and we'll say our names.
Eric Doheny.
Amanda Doheny.
Joe Dellwo.
Sam Carlson.
Robert Erich.
Laurel Erridge. Melody Martinson.
And Paula Jaconetty.
Okay, thank you. We have minutes from November 4th and November 10th.
Okay, I've read those, so I would move that we approve those.
I will second it. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So we have no road encroachments, and that brings us to tree bids. We advertised for tree bids for a couple weeks, and the only bid we got was from Circle B Sawn Tree. Brian brought him in yesterday personally. And he will work on all the trees around the courthouse. The total for the bid is $9,900. And he did tell us that if we had a problem affording that, he would work with us and do whatever we could afford, so. Do I have a motion for that?
Yeah, I would move that we accept that bid.
Okay, and I will second the motion.
Okay.
And any discussion on the bids
I do have a comment.
or proposal? It's a
The
proposal.
Is I would suggest to go ahead and do everything that he suggested, because we've got so many vulnerable
Yeah.
branches out there. And I know it involves removing that one at the end that's just
Yeah.
falling down every time the wind blows. But I would suggest to go and do them all, not to bits and pieces, because we're gonna be calling them in
Yeah.
to fix it after the next wind. Because that 3 days of wind really
Oh,
put
yeah.
a lot of stress on what was there. So.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He's pretty knowledgeable and he's, the comment I liked yesterday, he was happy to be
Yeah.
bidding to work on his trees because he feels he owns them. I mean, and that's a great thing to hear, so. Any further discussion?
Oh, is that what I read in the paper about Mike Maples, gonna get that tree farm going again to, is that?
No, we just went out for bids. We had some big branches on these trees that were obviously becoming dangerous, and so we went out for bids, and it just entails the trees around the courthouse.
Oh, right here, okay.
Yes, the county.
Now we got you.
Yeah,
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with the city
Yeah.
boulevards or anything,
yes,
just around the
Oh,
courthouse itself.
Yeah.
yeah. So any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So that brings us to commission reports. And
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything either. So public comment. So if we have any public here that would like to comment?
Oh, you're.
we're not at this time.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, Eric?
Yeah. So Eric Doheny, I'm here about the eastern Teton County gravel roads. And if you have a minute, I'd like to. Is it okay if I read this?
Absolutely,
To the
yeah.
So thank you. Get my readers because I'm getting frickin' old here.
Eric, will I be able to get a copy for that?
Yes, I brought copies.
For me now. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, dear Teton County Commissioners and Teton County Road Boss, what is the county's first responsibility to rural roads? Is it safety? Is it passability? If either of these are the county's main responsibilities, it is failing miserably. We have lived in Northeast Teton County for my entire life, 48 years now, fourth generation. We drive 13 miles of gravel one way to get to asphalt. We collectively, as the Doheny Farm, drive over 175,000 miles a year. This is a lot of gravel driven and a lot of knowledge of how the roads have been maintained and how they are now. Until the county started using the retriever, the disc that pulls up the gravel on the side of the gravel roads, we could safely travel the roads under any conditions or any amount of rain. Since the use of this retriever, we are only able to travel the northeast Teton County gravel roads using a very decent four-wheel drive vehicle under intense challenge. Our family has had two-wheel, rear-wheel drive cars most of my adult life. These cars are no longer a vehicle that can traverse our roads under a small amount of moisture. Anything more than a quarter inch of moisture, it is four-wheel drive only. Our analysis. The retriever is bringing up more dirt from the ditches than the gravel that is being lost from the cars. So number one, impassable roads. What roads have had good gravel have been diminished and diluted with dirt to make poor roads that are difficult to navigate under modest moisture, making them unsafe to travel. 2. Roads are unsafe. As mentioned above, they are physically difficult to travel, thus making them inherently unsafe. The ditches are so steep and unstable due to the constant tilling and retrieving of the shoulder of the road, are softer than neighboring counties with decades-old established grass. Question to the commissioners is, which county would you rather have your child go in the ditch in? Teton County with extremely steep, abrupt ditches, or neighboring counties with manicured slope ditches without a severely abrupt edge, which will cause major wreckage at any speed? I will answer that, and I will also add, if I can ever get a commissioner and the road boss, which I have asked to come out to northeast Teton County, it will be quickly obvious. You do not want your child, or anyone, to go in the ditch in Teton County. It would be a death sentence. Roads are rough. Once again, we have been driving these roads for years, and we have always spoke of better roads about Teton County than Choteau County. They have many miles of roads in Choteau County and not a lot of taxpayers, thus poorer roads historically than Teton County. But that is not the case any longer. Currently, both Choteau and Pend Oreille County have better driving roadability than Teton County. Please, I challenge you to come see for yourself. It is an absolute embarrassment that Teton County is now known for worse roads. Weed management. Waiting for the weeds to get so big that they're beyond any current chemistry of chemicals to kill them is only adding to the extreme problem for farmers and ranchers for weed chemical resistance. This practice needs to stop immediately. Two problems. Not only is this exacerbating the weed tolerance problem, it is costing the taxpayers money that they should not be spending, and it should be put to better use. It is ineffective. 5. Aesthetics. If one has county pride, this should also weigh heavily on your job as county commissioner and the road boss. As we have said above, we drive a lot of miles per year. When you travel between counties, it is very noticeable who takes pride in their county. We have steep, unkept ditches with balls of kochia. Come see, I will show you. Whereas a neighboring county have grass ditches that need no chemical application due to the stand of grass that has choked out the weeds and is made a very stable, aesthetically pleasing ditch. Neighboring counties come out once a year to mow the grass, and all is well. Safe, stable, passable, and aesthetically pleasing roads. 6. Families are threatening to move away. We have neighbors that have expressed moving due to the terrible gravel road conditions. When people move off the farm, they are not going to stay in Teton County. More lost revenue to the county. 7. Approaches and culverts. The retriever is demolishing our approaches. Entry and exit to our fields. Many approaches are unusable because of this, and the rest of them are cut out to such a degree that they are terribly rough and damaging to trucks and equipment exiting and entering fields. The retriever has damaged nearly 100% of the culverts and is adding to the problem of washouts and overflows over the roads. Teton County is unwilling in recent years to replace the lost gravel due to poor culverts and thus the roads continually degrading. Ideas to solve these problems. 1. Stop using the retriever disc immediately. It is pulling up dirt and is the primary problem, in my opinion. 2. Unfortunately, due to years of using this retriever, it has ruined otherwise historically good roads. Only adding new gravel will now fix these roads. An expense that we an expense that could have been avoided by never using this retriever. 3, may have to pass a rural levy similar to Choteau County that only rural residents pay for improvements made to the gravel roads. New gravel, working culverts, etc. I know you guys are familiar, I'll talk about that in a second. It is unfortunate that we taxpayers are going to get stuck with the bill on this when we had pretty decent roads, and this was all caused by human error. Not just time and gravel pushing into the soil. Needed periodic maintenance, pardon me. We are asking for a formal follow-up by commissioners and road boss of Teton County. Would like at least 2 commissioners and road boss to come out and check out what I'm talking about. So, that being said, I wrote that in June 2020 to the county commissioners. And as it said in there, I had been in and spoke to you guys prior to that several times, and no one has ever contacted me. I've asked repeatedly, and then I wrote the letter, and now I'm back. So the roads right now, if you drove out to my house, they're starting to get washboardy. We're dry. I get that. They're going to be awful by spring. I mean, it is going to be awful by spring. If we get any moisture, and I just want to reiterate a couple points on this, and I appreciate you guys letting me talk. I really do. If we get any moisture, the roads are impassable. And I've never seen anything like this in my whole life. And I've only spoke to you guys maybe 4 times in my life, and it's all about this. I don't complain a lot. But I'd like to reiterate, all the 70s, 80s, and most of the 90s, we had rear-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive cars. And it was never an issue. There's no way you're driving from my house any direction with a 2-wheel drive car if you get a ½ inch of moisture. It's impossible.
So I was working at Mountain View Co-op at the elevator, and it's 12 miles straight east off the interstate. And I have a Yukon SUV. Literally, when the road was wet, I would slide down it with my steering wheel and my tires sideways. And normally it's a 20-minute drive. It took me an hour and a half when the roads were wet. I couldn't go over 20 miles an hour. I couldn't pass anybody. And if you get it over even at all, the ditches are so soft and full of dirt that you just slide down and you're not ever getting out of there again. And they never used to be a problem when they were wet. They were safe to drive on when they were wet. And now when it's muddy or wet, it's impossible to drive anywhere safely at all. You have to literally go 10, 15, 20 miles an hour tops, or you will slide right off the road.
And that's with the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
So,
in 4-wheel drive.
so this retriever is the root in my
Well, when
opinion.
did they start using the retriever?
15 years ago, maybe?
Was it?
I had been here, I've been here 17 years.
10 years ago?
Yeah, probably a little over 10 years.
Okay. I think it's
Okay.
But, so, right before harvest, and what I'm talking about, that retriever comes, and one, it's wiping out usable approaches. And the ones that are like more used, so here's my deal. We're farmers and ranchers out there. Our job is to get in off the county roads into the fields. And we can't do it because, one, half the approaches are ripped out. And the ones that aren't ripped out, I had to go fix 16 approaches the day before harvest just so we could get trucks in and out of the fields that had wheat. This isn't every approach that we had. This I just did in a wham bam, took a skid steer because it's just too rough. It's going to wreck and then the retriever comes to an approach, so it's pulling gravel up, and then it goes down. So an approach that used to be as wide as this table, every year gets, because the retriever goes in a couple inches longer, and then it goes out in a little bit earlier. So the approaches keep getting smaller. Well, our trucks keep getting bigger.
Oh, yeah.
It's a double whammy, right? So just to comment on, and this isn't a dig on my road gear, man. I do love my road gear, man. I think this has the implement deal. So the retriever keeps going deeper every year, right? We started just pulling a little gravel, and then we have a weed problem, and then we try to spray it, we can't do it. So now the retriever, you should see how far the retriever is. I mean, it's here to the street. It is incredibly far and deep and straight and rough. So if you go off the road, you're going to go down and you're going to bounce out of it. And I beg you guys to come out and let me drive you around a couple 100 miles. I live in northeast Teton County, corner of Choteau and Ponderay. They're beautiful. I can drive off, I can turn around anywhere. You can't do it anywhere out there. You can drive off into a field, and that's our job, is to be able to drive. I know you'd say you're not supposed to leave the road without an approach, but you could if you had to drive off in a field at Pend Oreille County, Choteau County, you can.
No, on the truck drivers, I mean, our kids drive truck at Harvest and they've been driving a long time, but you know, when you get all the custom cutters, if any of those trucks get over just a hair, that shoulder is so soft, they're goners.
Yeah.
And we had a neighbor that tipped over a truck, I think, last year.
And I have a picture, I mean, so my mom had worked at the Dutton State Bank for 30 years, never got stuck and went in the ditch once. She went in the ditch here about 5 years ago, first time in her life. I've got another picture of someone sliding off south of Copenhagen, got stuck last year. I mean, I've got the pictures, I've got to pull them up.
Lunch person, yeah.
And then I see Pend Oreille County out checking the road. We get any rain, Pend Oreille County, and if you guys know where the shape of Pend Oreille County, I'm in southeast Pend Oreille County. Not a highly popularized area. They're out there every rain. The county guys out there checking to see how it's holding up, seeing how the culverts are doing. Always checking. I've never seen a Teton County vehicle out there besides Pete, coming out once in a while. And then a comment, Pend Oreille County had a retriever on a tractor this year. And I about pulled my hair out. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to ruin it. I told every Pend Oreille County guy to go talk to these guys and cut that thing off and hide it. But they brought their retriever, and they did. I believe they did what ours were intended to do. And it went about that far off the road. It went about that deep. It didn't even kill the grass. Pulled the gravel back. And they pulled that back up there, let it dry for a couple days, and then they spread it out. And it rained in that amount of time. Those guys were on the spot. They came out and drove pickups on that little berm to get that water off the road everywhere in my area. But they took that retriever and used it what I think ours was intended for.
That was the intention, was to pull the
It really was.
gravel that had been pushed
Yeah.
off.
Didn't even kill the.
Yeah.
I want to show you, but they didn't even kill the grass. I mean, they pulled. It'd be just like using a really good rake. So, those are my deals. I really am begging you guys to come out and drive around with me. I think we're spending money on chemical where Pend Oreille and Choteau come out and they spot spray just the weeds because there are very few weeds. That they're safer in it. I really believe you guys are setting up Teton County for some liability. The roads are just purely unsafe. And I feel that as a taxpayer, and if you added up all the taxes that just came in from east of Choteau, or let's say east of the interstate, it's an awful lot of money. It's all generated by farm and ranch. Well, it's getting really hard to farm and ranch out there. And it's not just there. Go out of Brady, south on Pend Oreille County, to where Begley lives. That's night and day. So if Dick were here, I know what he'd say. Your trucks are too big, there's more traffic, they're heavier trucks. I can cross right into Pend Oreille County and Choteau County and they instantly get better. And safer. So, I appreciate you guys letting me talk. I'm probably not going to let this sit. I'm going to keep bugging you guys, and I appreciate you letting me have this
No,
time.
it's terrible. And we've got a son in his first year of college. I'm positive he's going to get married and want to come back to the farm. I can see his wife not wanting to be living out where we live because of the roads, you know?
So-
And I'm sure that we're probably not the only ones. So then you're losing all these younger new kids that maybe would live out where we live because the roads are awful. They are awful. It's ridiculous.
So, just another comment on that. So, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, Choteau County, like I say in this letter, had the worst roads ever. I mean, you popped into Choteau County, you knew it my whole life. Well, they finally had enough, the farmers and ranchers, and it's a large county, and less population than most, right? So it's a huge county, and the roads are going to heck. And the farmers and ranchers said, hey, we're willing to be taxed separately from the folks in town if you'll get gravel, fix our, culverts and that. And they passed this. And so 2-3 years ago, we had water going over the roads everywhere. We were flooding, all of us were, right? They came out, new approaches and new gravel in every single spot that had overflowed. We still have, I think we've done one anywhere that I've seen anywhere. And I know we didn't bring any new gravel in. I know Pete was instructed he had a backhoe that he borrowed. It wasn't even a county backhoe. He borrowed it from a neighbor. And he was instructed to pull dirt out of the ditch and put it on the road. And he did right over the top of the deal. Well, it's just not this isn't sustainable. So I'm willing, and I've talked to many people from Brady to south of the Diamond Valley, farm and ranches that are willing to pass a tax on us if we can get it fixed. And one other thing is, so if Dick were here, he would blame the big trucks pushing it in and wrecking the roads. And he'd also say we don't have access to gravel. That's just not sustainable. I don't care. We need to pass this thing, and if we need to bring it out of Great Falls and do it, we need to do it. I mean, we need to get started on this because this is going to be a long, costly project.
We've had that discussion with other people in your area, and we can go out for a levy, but I just will tell you that we have not passed a levy since I've been here.
No, but this would just be on the, so what we need to do, or we need to contact Choteau County and ask them how they did that.
I've talked to Clay Real about it. I know a little bit about it, and the road does only get taxed on the out of city residents, so that's not
So I mean, if the folks on, say around here are plumb tickled and they don't want their taxes going up, I have no idea why we couldn't go east of the interstate or whatever, find an area
that opens a whole new can of worms, and you have to have a special improvement district and form a district and have a board and do all that. I mean, it's doable, but we have looked into that, and it's pretty complicated.
Okay.
So there are issues, and we do realize that our roads are in tough shape. We have 6 gravel trailers this year, and we bought trucks to pull them. We still have to get 1 tractor, so we're trying to hit it. We did just get a pit opened, and that's a tough deal in itself, but we do have one at Bagley's, so it's going to be fairly close to your area. So.
And she was talking early on from the interstate on the Collins Road, how difficult it was, and you guys brought in a couple miles of pit run. I mean, you're not going to get stuck. It's not very fun to drive. I mean, it's a mess.
The issue with that, and I've heard it for the last 17 years, if you just go on a road like that and you put crushed gravel on it, you're throwing your money away.
But they don't have any crushed gravel on top of that yet either.
You've got to go through and put pit run on it, and you've got to let it set a couple years to really get a base, and then you're not throwing your crushed gravel.
So back to taxes and people living there. She jogged my memory here. So the roads are so bad down the Collins Road, which used to be a fantastic road, and we don't get near the truck traffic to Collins elevator because of United Material or United Grain, and Conrad has taken a lot of it, right? So the truck traffic is lower and the roads are worse. So Killians live in Choteau County, haul everything to Collins elevator. It was so rough, they were hauling down the Collins Road loaded, it's a little shorter, and they're going up to Brady, down the Brady Highway, down by Copenhaver's to avoid as much Teton County ground as they possibly could. I mean, I apologize, through Seidler's Coulee, all the way out, and putting on another 40 miles round trip during harvest. They're growing tired of that, and they're just going to go to the Brady Highway and go to United Grain, which takes revenue and income out of Teton County and all of that. So I think we're really setting ourselves up for worse things to come.
Sorry, sir. I'm really thankful that you're allowing us to be here because we've lived here for 13 years, so we're learning. This is really a dumb question, but you mentioned taxes. Yes, our taxes go up every year, so I'm learning. I don't know if this is the meeting I thought I was going to be in, but what is a retriever? What is a
It's a
retriever?
district.
And then I heard that the ranchers and the farmers keep this town going. That's what I heard. That's what I learned. So you mentioned that the revenue is gonna, and he works at the store, so the kids come back from college. They don't finish college. They come back. They want to work on the ranch. So it's nice to see, the younger generation. You said you're 4th generation, and your son, so I think it's interesting. So
For the other
what's a
commissioners in the
retriever? And you said the thing is getting narrower. I mean, your road that you.
But I'm sorry, I appreciate it, but it's just, and I obviously, when I was on the school board, if someone comes and talks to you, they're obviously, upset, so.
That's why we have public meetings.
Yeah.
So you had a question on the retriever.
Can
It's
you explain what a retriever is?
It's an implement that hangs on the side of the motor graders, and it's designed to pull gravel up from the shoulder of the road that's been blown off the road so it can get into the surface of the road, and that's the
The theory
intention of it.
obviously isn't
Or to
working.
make the road
They're
drivable.
not using it
Right.
properly
Yeah.
or something.
Well, I think it's just a slippery slope.
Well,
Let's
sure.
grab a little more, grab a little more.
I think that
Right.
it probably worked for a few years, but it's probably not working as intended now.
So go back to like spraying the chemical on the side of the roads, and that was a good intention, but blanket spraying this whole county, one is costly.
More weeds.
We have such chemical resistance at this point in time, I think you're wasting your money. So then, now they're reverting to the disc just taking care of the job. And I think we need to, I'm willing to cost share to try to put grass back in these things if we ever can come to a conclusion of what the best scenario, how to get out of this hole is. But I'm willing to cost share grass back in. I really am. I think, you just gotta see, I mean, it's so great to see Ponder and Choteau County come out and they just spot spray the noxious weeds only.
That's a discussion that I'm not the member of the weed board, Dick is, but we have had that discussion with Mark Cordy, and they are going in that direction because it's just cost prohibitive, and you're right, it's making the weeds where they don't respond to spray anymore. So they are going in that direction. You will see that.
And I hate to bring up liability because I think you shouldn't be worried about liability.
We
by
worry
and
about
large.
liability every day.
But you shouldn't be. But another one is with all the peas and lentils and chickpeas and these new crops that before when it was wheat, you just spray away and nobody's going to care because it's not going to hurt a dang thing. Boy, oh boy, all this stuff is volatile. It can pick up, it can drift and kill peas and lentils and
Well,
chickpeas.
it's not only that.
Or if it's organic.
Organic.
You
Yeah,
just spray around organic, you're really in trouble.
We deal
Oh,
with
yeah.
liability every day.
And that's a
Yes.
3-year liability if you screw up organic.
Yeah.
Me, you screw it up, you have to pay me for that little bit of crop. That's 3 years of production on organic.
Yep, we realize that.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Any
Well, thank
further
you.
public comment?
Please fix the road.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Certainly will.
Our next meeting will be,
Joe, do you want to hear what people said on Facebook? Do you want to hear what people said who are listening to the meeting? Do you want me to read that to
you
you
can if you
real
want.
quick? We don't always have real-time comments, but, let's see. From Cam Morris,
Of course.
the county road department doesn't know what it's doing and needs reform and maybe should learn how to not get $1 million over budget.
I was nicer than that.
The roads out here, Mauricio Peraja, our roads out here are all washboard, tired of replacing front end parts every year. Wherever he lives, I think he lives on the Fairfield
No,
bench.
not sure.
Out here, they need to level the dirt under the gravel instead of putting gravel over the holes. And, yeah, and more in that vein from those same two people, but.
Okay. All right, thank you for the public comment, and our next meeting will be December 2nd.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sam. Yep.